that All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the Clockwork Nexus, where we are here for Uncharted. Now, the astute viewer might notice, or for those of you watching back, might notice the date in which it is being recorded. It's on a Tuesday, because Monday sucked, and we just weren't able to do it because of stuff. But we're here on Tuesday, because we really didn't want to wait 2 more weeks to play. So that brings us here. We are still 1 short because, unfortunately, despite the fact that we do have the Selkies because they do not have parental plans, we are still down with Jason because Sick does not give a shit what day of the week it is. Get well soon, buddy. We hope to see you next time. But that brings us to tonight, where we are here for just a lovely session that I don't have any of my players wigged out at all because of things I've sent them over, the past couple days. Only some of them, because I like torturing some people. Not really. I like trying stuff out and seeing what people think. Or in Danielle's case, I do like torturing her because she just builds these murder boards in her brain, and I know that she's been thinking about it a lot more than she probably should, but that's okay. Wait. So before we get started for tonight, I will say we are going to be trying something new. I'm trying something new as a DM. Trying to stretch my creative thing. As you guys notice, we do use a little AI art on our intro videos and stuff. We don't shy away from that because, hey, we're not really monetized yet. Not really. We make, I think a grand total of 40 cents per stream because of Twitch. So not really monetized. As soon as we can get monetized, we're going to change that. But I did do some stuff with some AI voice effects. So, yes, it is me talking, changing my voice because of things, putting it through filters and that kind of stuff. Trying some fun stuff. So there's that. Now, what happened last time? I would like to tell you, but due to contractual obligations, I am not allowed to give any recaps because Danielle has signed the agreement saying that I am not allowed to. I couldn't have Hannah or Talon or Selkie do it. She has to be the one to do it. So as much as I would love to share that responsibility, contract says I have to go to Danielle for the recap. As she eats her.
These are going up your ass.
Those look a little sharp, but not very safe.
Also, those
Yeah.
Oh, I thought those were the pretzels, and I was like, those are probably salted, which will burn. But anyway.
No, these are knitting needles.
Oh, why are you so violent?
Right.
I'm Italian, and my parents are from Brooklyn.
I mean, that's valid. So, anyway, what happened last time, Anna? Some fun stuff happened last time.
We talking last time that it was technically our week, or last time it was actually the 4 of us?
You know what?
Those are 2 different things.
Include both of them. Include the last time that we were here for the Northern Cross and for Corona Victoria, because that was fun.
Fair. Okay. So we are currently in the Hag's Cave, what we think is a Hag's Cave, trying to rescue children and save a town where the adults have all been frozen as statues and the children are potentially getting turned into little hags slowly but surely, and there's these purple worms on the ceiling. But anyways, we got into a fight with some T-Rexes. Sasha did a dance in one's mouth and somehow convinced it to put her down. I tried to turn into a bear in the middle of one's throat and just got deep-throated. It was not a great time. But we ended up winning that. We went into this one room. We decided, yes, obviously we should rest in the room with the creepy sarcophagus. Decisions were made. I didn't say they were good. I did not do it intentionally. I got charmed. And yeah, no, my character. No, Kina did not have a choice there. But yeah, she was kind of just like mentally manipulated into kissing this mummy. And then got beetles all over her, and that was not fun. And basically then it just turned into a whole like mind fuckery where like we were all having visions. V had a vision of her mother and siblings, where she was told some pretty hurtful things, and we finally got to see after V's emotional side, which we have not seen yet. So I am very excited for that. Xavier managed to be like the only person who like did the saves. Sorsha had a vision of somebody telling her that she was going to fail us all. I had a vision of creepy sarcophagus lady telling me that I couldn't even save the one I loved, and then smashing Sorsha's head into the rocks, because we love trauma. And Draz, though he is not here, had a vision of somebody telling him that he ran away from his village massacre when he was a child that resulted in his father dying, and he was just like, I was a literal fucking child. What do you expect? So yeah, all in all, we had a very poor time. The person who was taunting each of us in the vision, there was something gold, like some sort of gold appendage on them in each vision. Yes, I caught that. Silver? Never mind, it was silver. Look, it's been like a month.
Fair.
But okay, murder bird updating in my head. So I'm just running live calculations in here. It's fine. So we then managed to go into another room where let's see, Xavier played Hacky Sack the Cats. And then we long rested. And in that long rest, as far as I know, Sorsha, Xavier, and Draz Sorsha and Xavier had a normal long rest, but V, Draz, and I did not. The three of us were dumped into what we eventually figured out was an alternate timeline, where in essence we got like our perfect happy endings. So like V and Draz were an item. Flint and Ube were there also, and they were question mark an item. Look, they were in the same room, okay? So
separate bunks.
Roommates. Anyways.
Wow.
I am a Gen Z and I am leaning into that. And Kina's mother was alive. She had 4 children with Theron and had a 5th in the oven. And yeah, it was a lot for all of us to take in, but more or less that was an alternate timeline of our happy ever after. By the end of it, everyone else had kind of made the decision of, okay, let's go back. We're going back to our timeline, and it was actually Kina's turn where she was talking with the now 4 Lunari, because it's been confirmed her mother is now one of the Lunari. And her mother also said that, yeah, you're fighting Silrus, a man who thinks he's a god is going to be fought by somebody who actually is a god. So now Kina gets to figure out how she feels about that. But lucky for her, everyone else had already been dropped back through their portals into the one true timeline by then. So I'm
to be fair, demigods are a thing, and you didn't get told expressly that that's what you are.
No, her mother literally said God.
Daughter. Demigod.
Huh?
Anyway. But you are right. That did more or less run it up. Yes. Kina did find out she is carrying some divine blood, maybe, because also you switched worlds. So what happened? Who knows? Was it real? Also, who knows?
Yeah, we're also a little bit worried about things that we were carrying ending up back in the one true timeline, in which case Kina's gonna need a bigger dress soon.
Hey, that is true. How much of that is gonna come back? Who the knows? But
you do.
I do. I have a plan.
I feel like I need an answer for Hacky Sack the cat.
You hacky sacked the cat. You did that.
You did that. We were trying to get away from you. Sorsha and I were wild shaped as cats, and you did not want us to.
Oh, okay.
You can clip the part that you actually said the words verbatim. I hacky sacked the cat.
It's been a long time, guys. I forgot that I hacky sacked the cats.
And now,
so in reality, you hacky sacked both your actual and in-game wife as a cat.
Wait, I remember I made a Zohan reference.
The Zohan.
Yes, the Zohan. You don't mess with the Zohan.
And then I totally decided that Helgar at some point is going to do the feet uppercut. Was that your feet? Yes, the feet uppercut. Smell it, smell it, smell it. Now take it. Yep, it's going to happen. Anyway,
I don't know what this
back to the serious things. So, the very last thing that was left off, by the way, was, yes, you being referenced about the fact that you have some divinity and some power in certain aspects, and asking
and I was still talking
more
to my
than
mom.
anything. And you started thinking specifically about Theron and wanting him to be safe and wanting him to be somewhere. And you felt a very warm feeling kind of envelop you, this golden light kind of take you. And then I do believe I made reference to you feel the pendant that is hanging on your neck, the ring that he carved for you that has been feeling kind of like this warm pulse that has been ever constant since his passing, has stopped pulsing and the warmth is gone. So you can take for that what you will. But this is where, like I said, we're going to foray into the realm of pre-recorded videos because I made things to see how it works. So, what you, by yourself, Kina, yes, everybody is going to see it, but everybody is not going to metagame it. But Kina, what you see, what you interact with before coming back is the following. Let me find it. Here we go. Maybe.
We may speak only what the Sisters of the Moon have permitted to pass beyond the veil. No more and no less. Such is the law by which even we are bound. We know your heart is troubled, young Calantha. We know the road before you seems shrouded in shadow, its end hidden from mortal sight. The questions within you are many. The answers you are given are few. But fate has never demanded that you understand the whole tapestry before taking hold of a single thread. You have endured sorrow. You have carried burdens no soul should have borne alone. You have walked through fear, grief, and uncertainty, and still your spirit has not broken. Do not mistake confusion for weakness. Do not mistake fear for failure. You are called to meet them as you have met every trial before this, with duty in your heart, courage in your breath, and the quiet strength to continue when even the stars seem distant. Walk onward, Calantha. Trust not in certainty, but in purpose. Trust not in ease, but in the truth that your steps have meaning, even when the road is hidden. For this much has been permitted to us, and this much must now be spoken. The daughter of the fourth song must sing at the temples of the Guardians, in order to protect all that is, all that was, and all that is yet to be.
So, this being the light that you were enveloped with before you come back, you then find yourself back in the same dark room as you were before, which is where we are on the map. But I will say that you are now standing directly next to V, with all the memories of everything that has happened. No Draz, though. Draz does not appear to be back.
Is this considered like we long rested and we woke up from a long rest now?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
For Thavier and Sorsha, as you guys are kind of waking up and seeing Kina and V, they seem the same as usual, though a little different. They are dressed a little differently.
Did our clothes carry over?
Yeah.
What else carried? Oh, God. Keena's gonna look down, see the clothes, look up, and just, I need a test. And that's all she's gonna say, which is like this.
There does seem to be a little extra fabric, though. I'll say it that way. I said there does seem to be a little extra fabric. It is not as tight as it was just a little bit ago. But V, looking down, you do see that there is a much more ornate ring on your finger than was when you left.
Well, at least that carried over. She's just thinking, well, at least a nice thing, right? She'll just sell it later.
Wow!
And that you're like,
wow.
your fan, like what is the friendship ring that you and Jaws have?
Oh, well, I guess she wouldn't have recognized it. Like, at least, like, in that way, she just would have been like, oh, cool. I'm just going to pawn that. At least that's worth some gold.
At least I'm just going to pawn the fuck out of it. That's funny. All right. So, Sorsha and Thavier, what are you guys doing as you react to waking up to seeing them in this state?
Thavier's just going to take this big yawn because all he wanted to do that last session was take a nap. And he finally got his nap. And he's just going to look and go, I do believe that there is something very different about this situation. Things are not quite as I remember them. Was there an adventure afoot? Last I knew that we were hunting hags. I know that they can steal into your dreams and do some quite nefarious things, but your dress at least seems more presentable for day-to-day operations. How do each of you fare?
Well, and you're gonna see Kina just kind of like she's just really not sure how to answer that one. And she's gonna. We had an odd dream, and I had at first feared the same, that it was some kind of mischief from the hags, but I have come to believe that I do not think it was so. V, what are your thoughts? Jaws, where's Jaws?
That's quite surprising. Normally you can smell the beast man before you see him. I wonder where he has gone to.
I would like to check in the bag of napping to see if he's in there.
Okay. You look in the bag of napping, and he is not there.
Is he in your bag of napping, Thavier?
Last I knew, that bag of napping was solely for me and my lovely wife, but I suppose we could take a look. We'll peek.
Sorsha will look at Thevir and look at the other two. I swear, if there's prune juice in that bag, he's getting a whole talking to.
And yet, if there was coffee in that bag, it might set our day on a much more firmer foot. Don't you agree, my dear?
She would not.
All right,
Is he in the
and
bag?
you guys check in your bag, and he is not there.
Okay, where's Strauss?
Roll for Arcana, residual magic.
Go for it.
Guidance. Because this is the
Can
one
I-
druid I ever gave it to, so I'm going for it.
I would
Can I
like
do
to.
survival to track him?
I would like to say that V just steps away and kind of watches. Like she just like leans up against something and watches. She's just not bothered by the fact he's not around. She's just like, all right, he'll show up when he wants to show up. He's a grown man.
How does a 31 do me?
Yeah.
All right, with the 31. Yeah, there is divine magic that's lighting up this room like all over, like you have never felt before. No, you felt it once before. You talked to him.
At this, my skin will like positively crawl a little bit. This is definitely an uncomfortable situation for Thavier. He prefers more of the study magic, more of the learned magic, rather than this inspired divine might. So I was expecting the absolute stench of the magic of the hags. But the two of you have not been cavorting around with deities, have you? It would seem that their smell is what emanates from this room.
Well, the dream we had, I think it was a glimpse into another timeline. It's odd. But we did
Future?
speak with the Lunari sisters while there.
Ah, so there is some divine magic. I appreciate the confirmation. However, glimpses into an alternate timeline seem as though they could come with some very severe consequences. One, as much as we like to revere gods, they are not all powerful or all knowing, as much as they like to think that they are. And sometimes things have a tendency to slip through. Hopefully, our dear companion has not gotten himself lost in whatever this divine energy was.
Can I do a performance check to hide that I am like at his words about things slipping through, to hide that I am freaking the fuck out?
I would
Sure.
like to insight check for blush.
Those would be contested rolls. Go for it.
I got a 15.
Well, because my lovely wife has not released her concentration, her guidance put me at a 17.
Yeah, you can tell Akina's freaking out a little bit.
We are going to pull out our handy notebook of things that we jot down that our friends do.
Is it your
And
handy
the
dandy
entry-
notebook?
It is very much a handy dandy notebook.
Nice.
And we are very much going to put down whatever today's date is. I will use my noble-esque, I wake up at the same time every day and I'm on a rigid schedule to assume round about the time frame, even though we are in a cave. And it will read something like this. The fair lady Kina seems to be hiding something. There is a moment here where there is a distinct context of blush appearing upon her cheeks at the mention of a dream and cavorting around with deities. I do wonder when the truth shall spell out. Perhaps we shall have to have some glorious tea when the tea is spilled. And Thavier will just keep the rest of his thoughts to himself. They're all going in his notebook.
Roll for monologue. I'm just kidding. For inner monologue.
Eventually,
for inner monologue, most important.
I want to roll for inner monologue to turn all of these chapters into a book. This is going to be my writ of nobility. The thing that I hang my hat on is the weirdly humanistic adventures of this very estranged party. And it's going to be redacted in certain places because, as we have seen in modern evidence, that when you redact certain pieces of information into a book, it just makes people all the more curious on what you're redacting. See, I have this whole brainchild on how we're going to build our noble fortune and expand upon it.
I approve. All right. So, yes, you do notice that Kina is blushing and freaking out at the notice of thing or the mention of things slipping in, slipping through. However you word it. As she starts nervously straightening out the dress and seeing if it fits as snugly as it did for a second. Just okay.
Yeah, she's definitely checking the size of this new dress she's in.
Of all the parties, not to have a very specific cleric to play the midwife.
Well, dress is like a paladin. That's all. That's like almost a cleric, kind of, not really.
Yes, because when you are in your delivery room, the militant arm of you fucked me up, so now I have to fuck you up, and I will use my holy power to do so, is what you want delivering your baby.
Yeah.
That's what my ex-wife dealt with when she had me in the room, just saying. Maybe not militant, but...
Or it's the rogue. I mean, you got options.
What happened to the baby? I don't know. It disappeared, man.
I didn't even feel that delivery process. I just pickpocketed that baby right out of your uterus. Don't worry about it.
Sleight of hand so high nobody saw it happen.
Hey, if that gets me through without labor pains.
This would be a good clip. That would be a good clip. I just pickpocketed that baby out of your uterus. You're good.
Hey, you roll high enough on sleight of hand. Kina doesn't have to worry about labor pains. Contractions start, and all of a sudden, V's just like, boom, baby.
I could also see V being like, okay, time to yeet.
That would be an exceptional use of a grease trap, just saying.
No, Kina's gonna like just very quickly just okay, but seriously, where is Draz? V, how are you not freaking out? Isn't he your friend, your partner?
Yeah.
And she's gonna like look at the ring on her hand. You're something?
Friend? Partner? Been around for 3 years. This is normal. I run away, he does his thing. We're not worried.
We're in a
We'll come around. What?
We are in a hag's cave. I would think that would prompt some worry.
Maybe he got distracted by something shiny. Mind you, he's supposed to be watching me. That's okay. Not too worried about it. He'll show up when he wants to.
He's
a grown bull.
Check on V right now.
For what?
You can do an insight
I
check
don't
on
know.
anybody whenever. It's just a matter of whether she can test it or not.
But I don't know for what.
To like, why the fuck isn't she freaking out? That's a 16. Like, can I tell? Like, is she secretly freaking out and just hiding it? Does she seem to know something?
Well, either she can contest that role or she can just say that yeah, she's legit not freaking out and like.
No, she doesn't give a shit. Her thought is
V seems to have a highly evolved relationship status. There is a lack of codependency here, that even when the divine snatches up her partner, somebody pointed something out
Bunkmate.
about a ring, friend, she is not worried, as she knows that in 3 years she has left and he still is there whenever she returns. Perhaps it is his chance. Notes in my book.
Fancy
Is
pants.
it healthy or is it toxic? Let's find out.
Favor's just sitting there with a bag of popcorn, making his little notes.
Reminder to pay for a pollster and establish an official survey. Toxic or not toxic? That is the question.
I really can't wait for Thavier to be able to just cast a Tensor's floating disc and just be floating everywhere, just observing everything.
You realize I already have Tensor's floating disk?
And why are you not doing that?
Because
it's a
unless
spell
I
slot.
misread it, which it's not a spell slot, it's a ritual spell for me.
Nice.
Because
gonna
if
do
I
that.
sit on it, it's immobile.
Oh.
That's the annoying thing. Like, it can hold up
That
to
is
500
annoying.
pounds. But if I'm within 20 feet of it, it just stays where it is.
That's dumb.
So, like, I can create a very exceptional Buddha pad to hang up in the air and potentially meditate on. But that's it.
Let's see. Let's see if a flying carpet is in your future.
If a flying carpet is in my future, I will show Sorsha a whole new world.
I was gonna say, if you aren't going to say to your wife, "I can show you the world," I will immediately destroy it.
It would be a shiny, shimmering splendor.
Speaking of, is your wife back yet? Not yet.
Very, very soon. She's just tucking in the kids.
All right. So where we are at is the fact that Hina is 100% legit thinking that V just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So
He's just
there is the
honestly
rest of the room for
convinced
you
it
guys
was
to
a really
interact
bad
with
dream.
until Sorsha gets back. Oh, buttons. I hit the wrong button. My bad.
Oh no! What are we seeing? Nothing. Nothing.
No, nothing is happening yet. I'm looking around the map to see what I got to look at.
Can I do a survival check to see if I can track, like, if Jazz walked off somewhere?
He just said
Sure.
there's divine magic everywhere. I mean, this is above table, so wouldn't we just assume he's still in the other plane? Naturally.
No, because I saw you all get dropped through portals. I watched you all get dropped through before I did. So my thing is, we all got brought back here, and then something happened to Draz. So either he wandered off somewhere or somebody took him. Presumably, there are hopefully tracks to point us in the direction of where he is.
Okay. I was just wondering. I didn't remember that part.
Okay. 24.
24? Yeah, you don't see any sign of the fact that he got up from where him and V were laying next to each other totally platonically.
And what about, like, anyone having come and, like, taken him, like any drag marks, any tracks that are not.
Nothing.
This doesn't make sense. I do not like that he is not back yet. I saw him go through the portal. I saw you all get dropped through the portal.
Do you like him?
What?
You like him. Interesting.
I'm sorry. May I ask what you mean by I like him?
Like, you like the bull guy. You like Draz. You're awfully.
You mean like no. I mean he is a fine gentleman and I appreciate his company, but no.
Just curious, you awfully miss him.
I am concerned for the fact that he has disappeared, as I would be for any of you.
V wants to roll insight. For funsies.
I won't stop you.
25?
Kina's being completely honest. Like, legitimately, she thinks he's a fine guy, you know, but like she hasn't known him all that long, and also like her heart is very thoroughly taken by somebody else who is alive.
Oh, V's just gonna razz Draz when he gets back. She's just gonna be like, so Kina likes you. Huh?
That makes me happy. All right. So Sorsha is back. Xavier's notes just going on and on.
No, I'm
Sorsha,
not. You just came in. But what's up?
what is Sorsha doing now that they're back? Are you getting in on trying to solve the mystery of where Draz is? Are you checking out the room? What is Sorsha doing in this moment?
Sorsha at this point is just sort of investigating and trying to pay attention to what's going on. She sort of feels a little bit confused, obviously, because somebody is missing, but she is just trying to figure out what is going on and what the best plan of action at this point is with somebody in this party missing.
Well, I do not like that we are missing somebody. I think we need to get through this cave and make sure the hags are not holding him anywhere.
I mean, I do not smell hag magic within this room. I think the far more likely scenario is that wherever you cavorted with your deities, perhaps he just isn't ready to come back yet.
You say your deities as though they are not also your deities. From what I have seen, the deities of our world and your world are the same, or at least, well, not all of them, but the Lunari sisters are the same in both pantheons. And I will like pull out from my bag like the two religious texts, one from my world and one from this world, and be like, the Lunari sisters remain the same between these.
And do you not suppose that beings that are so caught up in their own importance and their own brilliance would not find multiple worlds, multiple planes of existence upon which to exist to garner more religious support? See, the truth about deities is they're only so powerful as the people that worship them. And so finding more people to worship you just gives you more cannon fodder to throw amongst the wars and the games that the immortals tend to play. Whether they be demons, devils, or deities, they are truly in it for themselves. The real question is whether or not they are honest with you about that. And of the three, I find the devils to be the most honest. They let us know up front that they're in it for themselves. There's nothing quite so sickening as, oh, how shall I phrase this? The religious assurance that you are allowed to do whatever you wish because you are in the right. Especially if you try to hide it behind frilly, silly guilds and beautiful flowers versus the desolate landscape that the devils seem to abide within.
While I agree that being a higher power does not give one permission to do as they please and to sacrifice innocence for one's own gain, the Lunari sisters are not out for their own good. They maintain the threads of fate. They stop the loom from stalling. They are what holds the threads of reality together with their weaving.
I applaud your optimism, but in my experience, somebody would only place themselves on such self imposed exile if there was something in it for themselves.
Or perhaps if the cost were too great otherwise.
In my experience, only mortals are capable of such self sacrifice because truly, at the end of the day, they're the only ones that have anything to truly sacrifice.
And how many
What this-
immortals have you met?
It is more than zero, of this I assure you.
And have you ever spoken with the Lunari sisters themselves?
With them themselves, no.
Then
But
how
do
can you deign to
I
know their minds?
I deign to know the impression. What is the cost of time to somebody that has it in abundance? What is the true cost of holding together the threads of fate, as you say, to somebody that is not impacted, other than their worship count, on how those threads of fate lay?
Do you
If
not
there
think
is
such
no
burdens are
cost.
heavy? Do you think
Oh,
such things are mere toys to be squandered? Some people
burdens
who,
are only as heavy as the sacrifice in which they inflict. And to somebody whose life has no count and whose very established meaning is the sacrifice in which they self impose, I don't see the sacrifice. I don't see the cost. For a mortal to pick up the threads of fate and to have to find a replacement when they knew their time was growing short, there would be the cost. The cost of a life lost, a life that could have been lived. But an immortal, there is always somebody seeking power, and there is always somebody that you can foster power off to when the burden becomes too heavy to carry.
So,
But far be it from me to dissuade you from your faith. I just tend to be a bit skeptical of these things. There is an immediate rush, an immediate affection that can occur. These beings, with all of their power, know how to inflict worship.
my worship is not inflicted upon me, it is freely given.
So, upon him mentioning sacrifice and a life given, a life sacrifice that could have been lived, I need you to make a con save real quick.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
$19.
Okay, so with the 19, Xavier, what you are going to see without a roll is that while Kina is maintaining as composed a visage as she can, her eyes are absolutely watering, and you kind of just see like kind of the one tear rolling down each cheek as she thinks about something, but she doesn't fall apart completely. But you would notice, you're observant enough that you did seem to strike a nerve on that one.
Lady Kina, you claim that your worship is not inflicted upon you, and I truly believe that you believe that. But ultimately, mixing up with deities just causes them to ask something of us in which we must truly sacrifice. And there lies the infliction. Again, far be it for me to dissuade you of your worship and of your faith, but truthfully, as the God of gods prohibits any deity from truly interfering in mortal affairs, you must believe on some form, fashion, or level that any deity that wishes to interfere, to step outside of the boundaries of the rules in which they have been placed by their own superiors, must want something. And wanting
Sometimes
without giving is the very definition of infliction.
Perhaps. But sometimes that want is simply to protect. And they can only do so much. But what they can do, they do. And yes, perhaps sometimes the gods ask of us things that we might rather not do. But they place burdens upon us because they know we might handle them, and because the cost of failure would mean the damnation of many. That of the greater comes above that of the singular.
Any being that has the power to affect change, that refuses to use it at the concern of the cost of their own survival, and yet asks us mortals that have one very short life to live. I don't understand, and my personal belief is that I could not follow such people.
Have you considered, Xavier, if they were to fix every problem that ever was, what choice would be left to us then if they simply made the world as they saw fit for it?
And yet have they not made the world as they saw fit for it? Regardless of which creation ideology that you believe in, some god let out some fart, and it was so holy that an entire people came to life.
That
You
is never
cannot
what happened. But
You cannot create an entire civilization and then take your hands off of it and say, I have given my beings free will until I ask them something, or I ask them to worship me, or I require that they follow my set of rules, and pronounce that your fart is more holy and smells better than any others? The logic does not make sense. If they have the power to fix the damage, if they instilled life into beings and then created a rigid societal structure and rules for them to live by, and then punish them for not living by those rules, and yet allow damage, danger, poverty, famine, societal imbalance, death, disease, wasting, and the devils to stricken, corrupt, and cast their creations into sin, then these beings are worthy of no worship. If they have the power to change things, but they state, I have given them free will except for them to live within my boundaries. That is not free will. That is not an expectation of growth. That is inherent slavery. An inherent slavery in which they choose not to make a difference, except to work through their creations.
While I
Again.
agree that if one has the power to make a situation better, they should, you neglect to think that perhaps there is not so much power as you believe. If you do not know the rules, you cannot fathom to understand them.
Self-imposed
you know, there could.
rules.
How do you know this? How do you know there is not some greater being imposing rules upon them that, if broken, would make the whole thing worse? How do you know that what they do is not just the only thing they can?
What being is greater than a deity? A greater deity? And then above them, a greater deity? Somewhere along this chain, there is somebody that demands worship and yet chooses not to act.
Perhaps. But the Lunari are not one.
If the Lunari choose not to act because they are worried that those greater than them shall strike them down, and yet they ask you or anyone within this company to make that sacrifice. I grew up a noble, and my father's resounding lesson was you do not ask your subordinates to do anything that you yourself would not be willing to do. And that is the cost of true leadership. If
Well,
your deities wish to be worshipped, then they must be able to put their necks on the chopping block if they are going to ask you or yours to do the same.
And perhaps they have. You do not know. As for your father, yes, I agree with his teachings. However, you do not walk over there and lift that stone, the one that is bigger than yourself, with nothing but your hands, no magic. Can you do it?
I don't know. How heavy is the stone?
Very. She's purposely selecting like the biggest boulder in the room.
Are you talking about the big ass stone statue?
Sure, we'll go with that. I'm talking about, like, honestly, any ginormous rock that, like, she knows he can't lift, that, like, maybe a barbarian could, but not this scrawny ass dude.
Does Thavier try to lift the statue?
Thavier would look at it and he would say, My Lady Kina, I understand your philosophical premise, but as I do not have the capacity to lift that stone without magic, I would not ask anyone who is subservient from me to attempt to do so. And yet, how many times have heroes been selected to go against avatars of other deities? How often has the fate of the world been put in the hands of a mortal when those in true power neglect to act?
And I do not think that this is fair that it happens, but I do think that sometimes there is no other way. Because sometimes You cannot lift the stone, and the only thing you can do is aid the one who can.
And yet, if they are truly greater than us, they should be able to lift the stone.
Then
Sever.
perhaps their greatness is not in that they can or cannot lift the stone, but in that they have the wisdom and the ability to support the ones who can through it all.
If they are not great enough to lift the stone, and yet I am, then they are not worthy of my worship. And if they are great enough to lift the stone, and they use their wisdom to decide that I should be the one to lift the stone, even though they have the power to do it easier, then they are again not worthy of my worship.
Okay, I do believe Sorsha was trying to say something.
Sorsha is going to sort of come up behind Thevir, wrap her arms around his hips in a big hug. If you feel like you can lift the stone, you should do it. You are the fourth noble, or fourth brother, and maybe this is your case. Maybe this is where you make your claim. I believe in you. Should you try it? I'm right here by your side.
The question was whether or not I could lift the stone without my magic. Truthfully, I believe that I do not, and hence is supported by my argument that I would not ask anyone in this party to attempt to do so.
But what if you could?
Then I would.
So try. What's the harm in that? And she will place her hand on your cheek. She will sort of caress your cheek with her thumb, and she will place guidance upon you. Just try, my love. You never know.
All right, we're going to lift a stone that is apparently only liftable by barbarians in a barbarian rage.
So it is like a 15-foot statue of
You're gonna get a hernia.
a beautiful she looks like a beautiful elf maiden, obviously of some nobility. Looking at it, you can tell that the statue is made out of
Copper?
solid granite. That's what
Oh
I'm
my
gonna say.
god.
Yeah, we are not going to strain too hard, but we will put in a decided effort, not understanding what this exercise is meant to prove, knowing that Thevir knows his limits, and we will do that with a 13.
So with a 13,
Even with
you
guidance?
grip this statue. Almost, they can, like, the rest of the room can almost hear your eyes rolling at you. You're just sitting here at the ridiculous notion of this as you squat down to pick up the statue. And as you go through the motions, you find that the statue is moving as if it is lighter than air itself.
Apparently, I don't know my own strength.
And then from under it comes clattering out a seemingly mundane lockbox, 6 inches to a side. And it kind of tumbles out, kind of like a D6. And as it lands, you notice that the cover of it opens, and out comes rolling this pure black orb that seems to absorb all the light that flows into it. It seems to almost have this liquid kind of ebbing and flowing inside of it. And as it kind of comes to a stop, it just lets out this pulse of this kind of greenish purple negative energy that just fills the room. And that's where we're going to take our bio break really quick. And then we're going to find out exactly what Thevir found. But until then, give us just 5 minutes, and then we're going to get into it.
Thavier is not excited that this suggestion came from Kina. I'm just saying.
Kina's not excited about this either anymore.
We'll find out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back where we are in Uncharted, the Northern Cross. First part of the session, we established that Draz is gone. V does not give a shit. We established that Kina starts freaking out at the mention of slipping in, slipping through, stuff slipping, caused her to, trip a little bit. We found out that Xavier and Kina might be on opposite ends of the theological spectrum, and they're having a very polite and well-mannered debate. And then Kina made the offhand comment of, you go try to lift that stone, knowing that you can't, blah, 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 and was making a point. And upon gentle wifely pressure from Sorsha, Xavier said, sure, why not? And he lifts this 15-foot solid granite statue as if it was lighter than air. And out from within it, under it, wherever it came, rolled out a lockbox that is 6 inches to a side and kind of a cube, kind of like a D6. When it landed, it just kind of fell open, and out rolled this black orb. And out came this kind of purple-green pulse of just overwhelming negative energy. And this is where the moment I warned you guys about of, yes, some stuff is happening without saves to get stuff going narratively, to point the finger at what it might be. But what we're going to do to figure out which order this is going to go in, why don't all of y'all roll me some initiative? We'll figure out.
No. Okay, fine.
I know, dice rolling, it's crazy.
It's like we're playing D&D or something.
I know.
13.
Math is nuts.
What did you get, Kina? Did you say
13.
14? 13. That's my lucky number. Should we even ask if V goes first?
I got a 22.
So, 16 plus 19. No, 17 plus
Damn!
19.
What?
Noise.
16 plus 17 would be 33.
Yeah, sorry. I can't. My dice. Sorry. 17.
No,
plus
you have
16.
nothing to apologize for. Let your character do what you did.
So
That's
33
amazing.
for V,
Yes.
22 for the Selkie.
22 for the Selkie.
23 for the Xavier.
Oh, you
23. All right. So
seriously?
this is the order in which we will go. And as I warned all of you guys before, I made some pre-made videos and had a little bit of fun trying something out, seeing how it fits, seeing what we're going to do with it. So, yes, there's going to be some videos. I trust my players not to metagame. When your video comes up, I trust that you will listen closely, take out what you need to. Make note mentally, make note on paper, whatever you want. But going in this initiative order.
So just to clarify, these visions are only happening to like one person. Like it's not like we're all getting all of them.
Only one person is seeing them, but we are letting everybody see them. And it's not so much of an interactive thing as much as it is kind of being projected into your mind.
Okay.
But Miss V, as you go from being in this room with everybody else, you suddenly find yourself in a familiar place in your mind in just pitch black emptiness, just kind of walking on your own. And in the shadows around you, you keep thinking that you see somebody, but it's kind of like just as they turn their back, turning away, you constantly think you hear somebody saying something to you about you. But every time you try to listen in, these voices just kind of fade. And then, quite thoroughly, into your mind comes this
Do you feel it? That silence around you. Not peace, not trust, silence. The shape of all the things they do not say when you enter the room, the secrets that die upon their tongues, the glances traded when they think your back is turned. You stand among them, and yet you stand alone. Truly, utterly alone. They do not trust you. They do not confide in you. They do not reach for you when sorrow finds you, nor offer comfort when the dark presses close. They reach for you only when there is a lock to be opened, a throat to be found, a shadow to be walked through on their behalf. To them, you are useful, a means to an end, as you have always been. But I see you, not the lie they fear, not the monster they name you when your gifts cease to serve their comfort. I see the masterpiece, the exquisite edge hidden beneath flesh and breath. Cold when you must be, cunning when fools mistake cruelty for strength. Intelligent beyond their shallow little judgments. Ruthless enough to survive what would have broken them long ago. Beautiful. Yes, beautiful. They would have you believe these gifts are sins unless leashed to their purposes. They praise your talents when they profit from them, then recoil from the very hand that delivered their victory. They want the blade, but curse its sharpness. They want the shadow, but despise what lives within it. How small they are. How terribly unworthy. I offer you a different road. One where you need not apologize for what you are. One where your precision is honored, your instincts celebrated, your hunger understood. A road where no lesser soul commands you to soften your edge so they may feel safe standing near it. No more bending. No more submission. No more whispers behind your back. No more doors closed before you enter. No more secrets kept from the one person sharp enough to know what to do with them. Embrace me. Embrace the wisdom of Italden, and I will raise you beyond their frightened little morality. I will show you heights you have never dared imagine. I will set you above every sneer, every doubt, every trembling voice that ever called you dangerous because they lacked the courage to call you magnificent. Come to me. Stop hiding from your power. Stop disguising your beauty as shame. Be what you were always meant to be. My perfect shadow. My flawless blade. My beautiful angel of death.
Okay. And then, because we're going to move very quickly through these.
Just can you send me a message on how to spell that man's name?
Got you.
Thank you.
Xavier. Being next on the list. Your vision goes dark, and then it comes to, and you see this kind of desolate hellscape before you. You see a crown of bone, or not a crown of bone, sorry, a throne built of bones and claws and teeth and blood everywhere. And laying right before this throne, you see the body of your beloved. Sorsha laying there, motionless, the fiery kind of ombre to her hair faded, the light in her eyes gone. And then you hear this.
Look at what lies before you. Look upon it clearly. You march onward with steel in your hand, spellfire on your tongue, and your beloved at your side. And still, you know the truth. You are leading her into ruin. The task before you is not noble, it is not brave. It is a beautiful folly dressed in the robes of destiny. A song already written in blood, with her name waiting in the final verse. But it need not end that way. I can offer you another ending. A brighter future. A truer one. You have felt it, have you not? That distance between yourself and those around you, the gulf they pretend does not exist. You move where others stumble. You weave blade and spell into a single breath while they still fumble with either hand. Your art is not merely practiced, not merely learned. It is transcendent. And yet they would bind you to their pace, their doubts, their limits, their fragile little notions of what power should be. They do not walk beside you. They slow you. Embrace me, and I will see your name carried beyond the tongues of mortals, not as rumor, not as footnote, as legend, as hymn, as a song sung across every world that has ever known magic, and every world yet to be born. You hunger for knowledge. Do not insult yourself by denying it. You crave the hidden thing, the forbiddance theorem, the veil behind the weave, the first note of creation and the last word spoken when stars die. I can open your mind to truths the greatest scholars would go mad merely glimpsing. I can place in your hands wisdom that archmages have wasted lifetimes trying to imagine. And what do the gods offer you? Kneel, pray, beg. Stretch out your hands like a starving child and wait for whatever scraps of divinity they deem you worthy to receive. Just enough grace to keep you grateful. Just enough wonder to keep you obedient. Just enough hope to keep you crawling back to their altars. I ask no such humiliation. I ask only that you stop pretending you were born to kneel. Take my hand, embrace the wisdom of Itilden. Let your blade sing with a voice that heaven itself shall envy. And all you desire knowledge, glory, power, her safety shall be yours.
All right. And then we move down to Sorsha.
Okay.
As your vision comes to, you see a version of yourself sitting upon this throne of bones, this macabre kind of symbol of power. All sort of demon kind spread out before you, looking towards you, waiting on your every word. And behind you looms a giant shadow of a 5-headed dragon
Oh.
that seems to bow to you, to wait on you. And then you hear this.
Look upon this, my dear, and understand it could be yours. All of it. You need only cease lowering your eyes to a goddess who trembles at the thought of what you might become. She calls it devotion. She calls it obedience. But gilded chains are chains all the same. She does not guide you because she loves you. She restrains you because she fears you. Your fire, your hunger, your ambition. The brilliance within you that even now strains against the cage she has built around your soul. She would have you kneel, diminish yourself, make an offering of your greatness upon her altar. But I see you, little ember.
I see the truth of you. There is a power in your blood that lesser minds would name dangerous, a flame they would smother and call it mercy, a destiny they would bury and call it protection. Do not let them. Let your fire rise. Let it coil around your heart, your hands, your very breath. Do not fear being consumed by it. Become worthy of it. Cast off the shackles. Step beyond the frightened prayers of lesser beings. Take into yourself the wisdom of a tileling, and at last behold what has always slept within you. Others have reached for such glory and been found wanting, but not you. You can succeed where they failed. You can become what gods fear to imagine. Come to me, embrace me, and I will show you how to burn brighter than all the stars in the sky combined.
And then we are left with Kana. And as your vision comes to, you come to a semi-familiar place in your own mind as you walk through this kind of endless void in this kind of ankle-deep water. A place that you've been to as a place of reflection. And maybe a conversation with a deity or two at times. But this feels different. It feels empty. You feel, grabbing the ring that hangs there, feeling no warmth from it. The crushing weight of how alone you feel in this moment just kind of washes over you as you fall to your knees and you feel the tears starting to flow when you hear this.
Oh, my sweet, sweet princess. How much sorrow can one soul be asked to carry before even the heavens themselves must be named cruel? Not one world has failed you, but two. Not one pantheon has turned its gaze upon you with cold expectation, but two. The gods of this realm and the gods of your own, each laying claim to your pain, each dressing suffering in the language of purpose. And still they call it destiny. You were innocent once. Do you remember that girl? The one who still believed love could protect what was precious. The one who watched her mother fade by inches. Watched illness creep through her body like winter through a dying garden, stealing warmth, stealing laughter, stealing strength. Until all that remained was grief wearing her mother's face. And your father, poor, broken thing. A man hollowed by loss until he became little more than the shadow of himself. Another life taken from you, though his heart still beat. So you ran. Of course you ran. You fled the ruins of one life and stumbled into another world, strange and vast and merciless. And there, impossibly, you found love again. True love, sacred love. The kind of love poets beg the stars to grant them. And then even that was torn from your hands. Tell me, princess, what mercy is this? What benevolence? What divine wisdom steals a mother, breaks a father, strands a child beyond the reach of home, and then rips her beloved from her arms? And as if grief alone were not enough, they placed a crown of thorns upon your brow and called it duty. The sisters of the moon whisper of purpose, of sacrifice, of sacred obligation. They speak softly, because soft voices make chains sound like lullabies. They trust your goodness, your loyalty, your wounded, beautiful heart that has always chosen duty even when duty has given you nothing but scars. They do not honor you. They use you. But I would not. I would not ask you to kneel. I would not demand worship. I would not make you crawl through prayer and devotion, hoping to be judged worthy of some distant, measured grace. No, my princess. I ask only that you let go. Let go of the burden they have fastened to your soul. Let go of the grief they have named holy. Let go of the obedience they have mistaken for love. Embrace me. Embrace the wisdom of Italden, and I will unmake the cage around your heart. I will lift this cruel weight from your shoulders. I will return to you the breath they stole, the sky they denied you, the wings they taught you to fold. And those you have lost, I can bring them near again. No more altars, no more impossible duties. No more gods deciding how much pain you must endure before you have earned peace. Your life will be your own. Your path, your heart, your power, your destiny, all yours to shape as you desire. Come to me, sweet princess. Spread your wings. Be free.
Can't hear you.
Damn it. So just as quickly, can you hear me? You can hear me now, right? Okay.
No.
Just as quickly as those visions took hold, just as quickly as the voice started booming in your ear as if it was projected directly into your thoughts, it fades away. And you are left only with the vision in the room of the four of you standing around this orb that is just kind of there, swirling in its static state.
Where's the strong one to throw this orb out of the way when we need him? That was mostly like a Baldur's Gate joke, but the wandering eyes and nonsense, like it's fine. Ignore my interested thoughts.
What is that thing? What was that? And Keena's just gonna like shudder and oh no. Can I take a rock and smash it? Like a big rock and just
You can try.
okay.
Can I stop her hand before it hits it?
Yeah, I was going to say, before we try and smash the orb, there was no influence while it was
Guidance
in the
on
lockbox.
your Fevir or V, because I do not want a rock being thrown in this nonsense habitat that we are currently at.
Whatever that thing is, it is not our friend.
I most certainly agree with you. However,
So it spoke to you as well. What did it say?
it said many things which would be difficult to follow. However, none of us were able to hear the voice while it was in the lockbox. So perhaps rather than trying to smash it, the smartest thing would be to put it back in the lockbox and see if we could bury it once again within the statue.
Very well.
Would Thavier like to check out the locked box or the stone or anything of the sort?
Sorsha is going to look at the party and sort of look around at her surroundings. Does she notice anything suspicious or anything weird?
Besides the swirling ball of negativity that is in the room.
But can she see that though? That's what I'm asking. Can she
Can
see
you
that?
see? Yeah, the ball. I mean, this stone is there, and it is just a perfect sphere. That, like I said, even though it is sitting perfectly still, it looks as though something inside of it is just swirling around, ebbing and flowing. And I would say Kina and Sorsha in particular, being the two that have a typically happier demeanor, that both of you feel just that positivity being drained. Like it almost feel like it is actively being pulled out of you towards that stone.
Who says Kina has a positive demeanor?
You don't walk around as negative as the other guys do.
I mean, fair.
Ever since I joined this campaign, Kina has been sort of very the positive light at the end of the tunnel, but it's fun.
Kina's holding on by like the last shreds of her mental health here.
Is there a sort of a check I could make to see if there's a way that we could get out of the situation that we are in, especially without
Make an
Drax?
insight check real quick. That's what I would.
All right.
That's what I'll say. Get the vibe.
Can
Well,
I also roll an insight check? 'Cause I feel like
Is it a
Steve
vibe
would be-
check or is it an insight check? Because
If you want to roll it as a whole vibe check, if you have that put into your roll, go for it.
Okay, but can I do both?
If you can do the quick math.
My husband can do the math.
Can V also do insight? Because that was what I was going to ask when I got.
Yes, you can roll it as a straight insight check, and then after this, for those of you who don't know what the vibe check is, we can go over how to get that set up as a custom roll because it is a thing.
Seriously?
Remind me, what is the skill modifier for a vibe check?
So the skill modifier is half of your insight, perception, and investigation all rounded down. And then you add all of them to that.
That is amazing. But while this is happening, Kina is gonna like pull out the book that she has that she took off Shorzy of the Drakian Pantheon and start like flipping through that to the Pahokta. And she's gonna just like, you're gonna see her just reading through that and just the name is not in there. I don't know what was that name? It's not in this book.
I rolled a 17.
17 insight. So what you would pull from that is absolutely that rock is bad news.
Oh, see, I was going to say V really liked whoever talked to them, but that was just... They thought she had a pleasant conversation. At the end, at the beginning.
So upon hearing one of those names, I will let V make a history check.
Which name did she say?
You hear Tilden?
Oh, okay. You said history?
Yeah.
Okay, so like 6.
Do it with advantage?
Wow, I've never gotten pity advantage before.
It's not pity advantage as much as we're getting this train somewhere. It's like...
Well, I got a 12.
Okay, so a 12 is enough to know.
There we go. I got a
You're going to
storyline,
get
guys.
a little snapshot of a document.
Oh no.
And then I'm going to send it to your Discord. There you go. And because She has the book, and you would find it eventually. I just don't know if I actually wrote it in there. But you guys did hear that name before. Now, back to the Selkie and the vibe check. Is the Selkie still here? Crickets, crickets.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Talon to mute himself.
Talon's doing math.
No, Talon's muted. We're good. What's up?
Oh.
Let's go.
Vibe check. What did you get for your vibe check?
I just put it in like the Goofy Discord channel. What?
28 is your total.
Did what now?
Total for the vibe check, according to my math-loving husband.
Okay, so double crits. Beautiful. For a total of what?
28.
28. Beautiful. All right. So, what you are getting out of this quick analysis of the situation, and I will say that will get you the same message as I sent V. You remember a little bit of history and the so-called corruption of Silurus, and so I sent you those details, and that this particular stone and what it is absolutely would be enough to overpower, let's say, a hag coven and make them significantly stronger than they should be. That could draw an overwhelming amount of negative energy that could mess with your guys' heads and getting you to, I don't know, make out with a mummy or see visions.
Okay, but I think the thing I'm more curious about is where
How to get away from it?
No, not at all. Asorsha is determined to prove her worth to Big Daddy Spy Man, and she wants to continue on, and she wants to prove her worth. So she wants to make sure that she can contain and sort of not necessarily demand of her party, of her group, but she wants to make sure that the people in her command, will be able to make not only herself proud, but in terms of what you and I have talked about, DM, her uncle proud. So if there is a hag around, she wants to go for it.
Got it.
She wants to make sure that if there is a hag around, if there's any way she can sense it, if there's any way that her soulfire companion can sense anything wrong, that she wants to end it and she wants to continue on with the journey.
Right. So with that, like I said, sealing this stone, locking it away, taking care of it would go a long way with solving that particular problem. With that vibe check, it might solve the problem altogether. Might take care of your hags. Don't know. But you get a pretty strong vibe that, yeah, taking care of that stone, getting that taken care of is going to make whatever comes next a whole lot easier.
Is anyone sharing what they're figuring out, because Kina is going to share what she's seen in the book, which is she's connecting the name to a.
Hold up before you do that, because at one point I asked Xavier if he's checking anything out about the stone or the box or anything like that, and we kind of jumped on some other shit before he got the answer. So let's give him a chance to do that quick.
I mean, I would definitely like to look at the box, Arcana check, or do an investigation roll to see if it's, like, for lack of a better term, magical lead lined. If there was something within this box that was potentially keeping this presence or this negativity from the stone from expanding outward.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me a Arcana check. Yeah.
27.
27. So as you pick up this box, you, for one, absolutely, this is a powerful magical item. One might even call it an artifact. And as you look at it, you see a symbol that definitely gets at you, particularly as a wizard. As you notice that there is a symbol of a group known as the Archivists. And that the Archivists, or the Archive, was kind of the Illuminati of the day, kind of a mix, and kind of Illuminati, Masons. They knew everything about everything. They went into every kind of supernatural thing, any kind of magical knowledge, anything about anything, they wanted to know it. And they came up with a lot of items to protect them, because not all magical items are good, and some can hurt you. So you do find, and now have in your possession, an Archivist's lockbox, which is an item in D&D Beyond, should be. And if you can't find it, then let me know, and I'll see what I got to do about making it public.
Let me go to D&D Beyond, see if I can find the Archivist lockbox.
Because I made it, and I think you guys should have access to my stuff. But I gotta be real honest, I'm not 100% sure how that works. So
I think if it's homebrew, we would have to have homebrew stuff turned on.
Say what?
If you added it in as homebrew, then we'd have to have homebrew stuff turned on, which
I think all of you guys do.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it. I see the Archivist key.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm seeing it.
Oh, wait. Maybe I misspelled something.
I put it in the party equipment. No, never mind. I could not add it to the party equipment.
It's in my equipment.
Okay.
You got it?
Yep.
All right. So, upon finding what it is, yes, you do basically have a magical lead line box.
What do I have to do to attune this thing?
Just take a little time. And how much is attunement? Like an hour?
Yeah, I mean, just really depending on how you want to describe it.
I would say, yeah, you take an hour to really study the box, get to know it. Which is, as you're doing it, I will say, as you're taking your time studying the box, you notice that this key just kind of starts to form in your hand over the course of that hour. And by the time you get to that hour, you are fully attuned and you have the key to the box. Kind of its recognition of it's yours now.
I would like to attempt to very, very sneakily tiptoe to this pulsing negative orb, and I
Okay.
want to use the lockbox as a alligator mouth
Okay.
and just close it around the orb.
All right. So give me a stealth check to see if anybody notices you doing this.
Not my best, but I'll take a 16.
I notice.
Are you going off of your passive?
Yeah.
Because passive wouldn't apply here because you are very much so murder boarding right now.
Okay, but would his wife notice?
You know what? All of you guys can give me perception checks, the three others,
Fair.
with disadvantage, except for Sorsha,
Yay! Okay.
because you will at least get a straight roll. Because as we know, as husbands, when we think our wives don't see us, they very frequently do.
I don't like
This
you
is
right
true.
now because I would have seen it going off my passive. And
11.
You are murder boarding right now.
no, it's an hour later. She's finished murder boarding.
Danielle, if you can look at me dead in the eye over camera and tell me that you are ever actually done murder boarding and convince me of that, I will let you go for it.
Yes. Once I have the idea is there.
Yes,
And it
and then
doesn't
you
take long
sprout
to
off
get
into
back
30
to
other
my
tangent
here's what's
ideas
going
because
on.
that's what you do. Sorsha, what'd you get?
I got the 26 on a dirty lady 20.
So yes, you would definitely notice. What did you get, Kina, for your check?
For with disadvantage, it was an 11, I think. So
Okay.
but
So
I think I
me,
should be able to go off my because it's just an hour later. So I would have already read the passage and pieced together what's going on, had a discussion with everyone, and would have seen him alligator mouth the fucking orb. Because I'm just looking at that thing like like you said, let's put it back in the box. Can we put it back in the box, please?
you made a stealth check. It's not passive. You can't. If somebody is stealthing, your passive goes away, as far as I understand. Because that means somebody is taking an active way to avoid it, which means you have to actively try to perceive them. I think.
I'm also looking right at the orb. Like, I genuinely would have been like, you wanted to put the orb back in the box. Can you please put the orb back in the box?
Fair enough. So he does sneak up on it, and then you guys notice him at the last second just kind of...
So, rules as written, Brian, you would be right. Passive perception specifically only applies when players don't specifically state that they are looking for something. Rules as written states that if you are actively trying to perceive something, such as combating somebody else's stealth roll, passive perception no longer applies. You must use an active perception check.
Aha! Every once in a while, I know the rules.
Yeah, but it wasn't that I was trying to, it was that you decided I needed to. Like, it's not like I was actively looking for him, though. Like, it was more like, do I notice?
We will discuss this later. That is the answer I'm giving you, smartass. You're like the most pain in the ass little sister ever. Anyway. I already have one little sister. I don't need another one. Anywho.
I'm gonna
So,
now.
Xavier, you close the ball of negativity in the box. All of you, as soon as he gets it fully sealed. immediately feel this just weight off your shoulder of this negativity seeming to be lifted. The whole
gosh.
air of this dungeon seems to just take on a different vibe. But then we will go over to Kina, who had something to say about.
Before you go there,
Before we go there,
just so it doesn't need to be said, when I alligator the box closed, I use the key and I lock the box.
very
And
good.
then because Thavier is also kind of paranoid at certain times, I cast Arcane Lock on the box.
Okay. So you have triple padlocked the box.
Yes. It is keyed only to me. I am the only one that can release the Arcane Lock. I am the only one, from my understanding, that has access to the key. And it is sealed shut. And if I had tamper-evident tape, you can be damn sure that I would put tamper-evident tape on the outside of this box.
Beautiful. So, and because I kind of feel bad, as everybody else knows shit, I will send this to Talon as well so that y'all can have a conversation. Ciao. So, at this point, Kina, you got something to say about who was talking to you. Start a conversation. What does that look like?
She is going to like place the book in the center, like between everyone, and go, I think I know who that was. He is not our friend. That was called himself Ithilden, but it is Jiron, the one of the sons of Orkamaz of the Pahokta. The god of deception. We've met him before, or at least Vi and I have, back in Randosa. He was pretending to be your boss. Remember, Vi?
Oh, no, because I honestly do not.
Okay.
I don't think I was there. Was I in that room when that happened?
You were. Yeah, it was basically it was like the fight where we fought the vampire dude and he like did a number on you, and then who we thought was the boss came in and did some mind melt shit that made the guy like bleed out of his eyes and ears and whatnot. Got the information about where he needed to send us to rescue Drogon and Aralaya, and then drew a ritual circle and was basically sending us there. But as we disappeared, the door got kicked in and we saw your actual boss along with the two airship captains that we knew come running in. And then we saw this guy change into Jiron, and though we didn't know it at the time, but when Jazz came to pick up my crew from the Little Cave of Horrors, as the chief titled that episode, he said that you guys had all figured out that was probably Jiron, who was pretending to be Vorvir, whatever the fuck his name is.
Okay. Interesting. Honestly,
Yes.
don't remember that. This is all.
It's like it's the first time all over again.
It really
And-
is.
Kina has been wondering about that this whole time, because why would a god of deception, why would one of the Pahokta, one of the evil gods, have helped them to get back their party members? She's been confused about, like, that's something that has been on her murder board. Is it that even the Pahokta want to stop Silvers because, like, they can't be worshipped as evil beings if there's nobody left alive to worship them? Or is this something else going? She's been confused about this, but now she's seen this, as you described it, a stone, and she is going to, as she, like, the negative energy disappears, and she's putting this book down, and she's going to go, this is one of the 7 stones. Silver's had pride. This is one of the others. If I had to guess, perhaps wrath? One of the stones of power that corrupts people, that makes them embrace that which they should not. We need to keep that stone hidden and safe, lest anyone else fall to it. Does anyone know anything? What is that box? Do any of you, I mean, this is not my world. You know, the 3 of you, more than I do. So what more can you tell me that is not in this book?
History check, or do I just automatically know the information that you sent me, Brian?
You can make a history check with advantage because you are well read.
I would like to give him guidance because Saoirse is never not too far away from her husband.
I would definitely like to disagree that that ball was not of wrath. It was either of lust or greed, because it was definitely giving us what we wanted.
Did we get a particular emotion trying to encroach in upon us when that voice was talking to us?
You tell me.
How does a 26 do me?
With a 26, you do indeed learn everything in which I sent you.
My current assumption from the information that I have read in books in the past is that your assessment is quite spot on. I truly believe that this is one of the lost stones of power, and without comparing the information in which was impressed upon my brain, this could be perhaps pride, greed, or envy, as each and every one of those situations seem to pertain. I do know that the last bearer of one of these stones, who was, shall we say, conceited enough to believe that he was able to master the power, fell victim to the very name of the stone in which he had possession. I think it is for the
Silvers.
best that the stone stay locked away. This box, from what I understand it, comes from an ancient society. They truly dove into all of the magical implications. They were able to create some wondrous artifacts, some truly, pardon the pun concerning our previous conversation, some truly divinely inspired magical testaments. This box seems to be one of them from the Archivist group, and it seems to have the power to hold whatever the stone would portray outward within the confines of the box. As such, I have locked it so that currently only I am able to open it. And so long as we agree not to fall into the temptation, I think we should keep this box away from society. It seems
And
to have no place in the world today.
And what happens if you fall to the temptation?
To be honest, should I fall to the temptation, then all of us are quite fucked.
perhaps then the box should rest with another. Because as you state, we cannot open it anyways, but you alone could. And if it is in your possession, then you could open it if you fall. Whereas if it is in, say, my possession, if I fall to it, I could not open it anyway.
I apologize, but that situation is quite impossible, as I had to attune myself to the box, and I must maintain attunement in order to keep it locked. The box must reside with me, or my connection to it could potentially be broken. And at which point
Must
in
it?
time, this orb is able to escape on its own will. There are very little good deals here. We must make the best of a bad situation. If there is the ability to divest ourselves of this box and put it into the keeping of somebody or something, or perhaps cast it into a volcano from which it may never be recovered. Those are
Quite
options
like,
that we may have in the future.
I do quite
But for
like the
now,
volcano idea.
well, I agree with you. But for now, I truly believe that this is the best situation that we have. And without the
All right.
influence of the orb, there should be no further temptation.
And
If the
you are
architect did
certain
their job.
you are certain that this box will block the temptations of the orb. Fabier?
Sorsha is going to step in front of Thivir. Can you be certain of anything?
There is no certainty in times such as these. However, I do not feel any temptation seeping from the box, and I shall trust my party members to tell me if at any point in time that changes.
And you will do the same if you feel anything, yes?
Should I feel something, I will discuss it. Upon that, you have my word. And as this box does not seem to be tied to any sin that would promote the lying, I think we may be safe.
Can Sorsha sort of maybe stealthily steal the box?
You could 100% make a sleight of hand check against his perception.
All right.
Yes.
I'm
What
going
kind
for
of perception,
it.
Chief? What kind of perception, Chief?
He would have to make an active perception check.
Okay, just checking.
We just discussed this.
I know.
But also, like, is it at disadvantage because it's his wife? So, like, if his wife puts her hand down his pants, like, to get the thing, like,
I'm pretty
I mean, I would guess that he would notice if you put your hands down his pants to get the thing, and then that was not the thing that he thought you were going for. I'm fairly certain he would notice.
but
hoped.
is that really true?
I mean, for one, I do not know if he put it down his pants directly. Did he? I'm sorry. Just
It's the
having this
stone thing that's
conversation
taking
and
other
where
stone.
Talon's screen was frozen had such the look of like, are we really fucking doing this? Like, it was so perfect in that moment. It was just this perfect, like, oh god, like the perfect husband, like, yep.
I will potentially metagame just for a second, and then Chief can yell at me. But for anybody that is not aware, rules as written states that any item that ends up more than 100 feet away from the person that is attuned to it
is no longer attuned to said item.
Yep. This item may be a little different than that.
But your wife is never more than 100 feet away from you.
My wife has absolutely been more than 100 feet away from me when she goes off onto her crazy emotional tangents.
But she's only done that once in the past 3 years. So
But
DM
it
call.
has happened.
You guys have a very
DM call.
This is the most lovely, like, couple spat in game, like both in game and above game. It's just like beautiful.
I'm gonna steal it.
I'm gonna,
Do it. Do it. Steal it.
Not now. Eventually. Not today. Not,
So,
not right now.
V knows what she's doing.
Xavier,
You can't steal it now.
I would
You
say
need to pay attention.
that while you are absolutely correct in that normally when a magical item does get more than 100 feet away from its attuned person, that it does become unattuned. But one of the treasure troves of knowledge that Xavier would love to get to, if only it were ever found, would be the Vault of the Archive, which is said to have many such boxes filled with items beyond wonder, despite the fact that the person that they're attuned to might have passed years ago, decades ago, centuries ago. Is there a way to still get into them? You don't know. But you do know that they do stay locked beyond that 100 feet. They will stay locked indefinitely. And that you will stay attuned to it until such a time as you choose not to be.
I mean, hence also the secondary benefit of Arcane Lock. But while Xavier may know this, he does not necessarily wish to divest himself of said box.
Yes. So you can make a perception check with advantage to Sorcia's sleight of hand check with disadvantage.
And I will
She is apparently trying to reach into Xavier's pants to grab the box.
Can I see if Xavier's more into the box because he's intrigued?
Absolutely. You could make a insight check, or you could ask him.
He's not really an asker. She's more of a watcher.
Now, depending on how bad Sorcia's check is she potentially going to grab a different stone than the one she's aiming for?
Ew, a what?
She's not going for the stone. She's going for the box. Different.
I rolled a 13. It wasn't very good because I'm sure Xavier has a high something or other.
So, Xavier, as she is trying to people watch you and analyze, would you be doing anything to put on any kind of a front?
No, honestly, Xavier, unless DM says something different, there's no influence. He specifically didn't like the voice that was in his head. He has no desire to follow any deities or really any devils. His interest in the box is stemming specifically from the society that created the box, because anybody that is able to make magical items on this level certainly has some knowledge that would hopefully be shared. But the orb and the presence behind it holds no interest for him.
Okay. That's fine.
All right. So, Sorcia, make that sleight of hand check, please.
I will do that.
Here's where you need your double nat 20s.
No, you said I was rolling at disadvantage?
Yes.
So I rolled a 19 and an 8, and sleight of hand is +2. So I rolled the 10.
All right. So, Xavier, perception with advantage.
12.
So you absolutely do feel Sorcia as she comes up Describe how this looks, Sorsha. You take the lead on this. How does this look as you try to pickpocket your husband?
Actually, I feel like Feather
And we
should
can all
take the
see
lead.
this, right?
Absolutely. I'm assuming.
Okay.
With a 10, yeah.
I'm not being like subtle at all.
Okay. Well, V's definitely gonna be like, get a room. Jesus Christ. Holy
But-
shit.
Feather knows, like, I imagine Sorsha has tried to steal his snacks from time to time. So I want him to describe how this looks.
I like how you just 100% passed the buck on describing this back to your husband.
Look, I'm tired and I have a double ear infection, so yes, my husband can handle this.
That's all right. And was the stealing of snacks a euphemism, or was that just? I'm just kidding.
No, nope, a little bit of both.
Nope, literally snacks.
So, assuming that this is something that Sorsha has done before, which she has admitted that she has,
Regularly, yes.
On record.
the second that certain pants diving activities started to occur in front of V and Kina, Thevir would know exactly what was going on. And this would be one of the times that Thevir would sidestep away from Sorsha. And he would just give her a look that would say, "We will have a conversation later."
So, upon the uncharacteristic public display of affection, not normally shown by Sorsha,
I'm not looking for a conversation. I'm looking for a means to an end. Then she would sort of raise her eyebrow to him.
My dear, this is not a means to an end. The history behind these stones is that every single one that has tried to grasp these stones and utilize them for their own benefit have been corrupted. There is not a positive tale of stone grasping within the history of these orbs. And at the risk of being too forward, there are other experiences that we could dive into that would proclaim some of that security and interest in which you seem to be implying.
I'm sorry, my love. It feels like we're too deep in to pull up now.
Witty banter aside, and while you know I thoroughly enjoy such activities, I do believe that this is neither the time nor the place, nor is this something that we should allow cause strife, infighting, or backstabbing within our party. The history of these stones is diabolical, and they deserve the utmost respect for what they do. I apologize for not rising to the occasion, but we shall divest ourselves of the witty banter at a future time and place that we shall decide between the two of us.
I don't disagree with you. However, I feel that as the fourth son of a noble family, things are complicated. I fear that with what was given to you could be turned into and particularly blackmailed, if I'm being honest. And I think you need to trust me in this instance. Can you do that, my love?
Blackmail is always a possibility, but I do
I
need
kind
you
of
to
feel like a
trust me.
persuasion roll is warranted here.
All right, if you want a persuasion roll, what do you want me to combat it with?
Oh, God damn it, Brian!
What are you saying? God damn it to me! You're working your thing. I'm trying to help you.
Hey! My husband is currently playing a blade singing wizard, so persuasion, where it's not like his forte, where it's not his like go-to thing, it is a whole fucking thing. So I have a disadvantage. I'm so mad at you right now.
I never said you had disadvantage because I was actually going to go the other way and saying you are laying on the wifey voice and the you are doing everything that Jen does to me to get me to say yes. So what I'm going to have you roll is you know what? We're going to go persuasion with advantage for Sorcha to insight from Xavier.
All right, hold up. I rolled an 11 and a 20.
Either way, with the 20, you beat me.
All right, so she's making a whole lot of sense to you, Xavier.
It's the boobies.
Xavier would just kind of sigh, and he's going to take a step back. While my wife makes some very valid points, there is magic here that is specifically tied to my forte. I have the knowledge, the upbringing, and the education for it. However, if the greater consensus is that I should not hold on to this box, then I shall divest myself of it. I feel no undue influence, but in this I shall bow to the will of the group.
And at that, Sorcha will look at the group. What do you all think?
I think. So here's a question. In the tent, Xavier, you always carried the tent, yes?
Not last time.
Sorsha and I seem to be passing it amongst ourselves, depending on whose turn it is to set up camp that evening.
So, the tent in that case, if it were always in your possession, would therefore always be within 100 feet of you, yes? And therefore anything within it would be as well.
I mean, there's a potential there, but when you start stacking magic items upon magic items, there is always a question on whether or not they will interact with each other.
Perhaps. But if you state that it must remain within 100 feet of you in order to remain attuned to yourself, I think that is perhaps the best method. Sorsha, V, and I can take turns hiding it throughout the tent in a place you do not know. Perhaps mainly V and I, because we take turns keeping it in our rooms. Jazz as well when he gets back. but at a schedule that you and Sorsha do not know. Fortunately, since you and Sorsha share a room, it could not be in your own room.
I actually have a DM question based off of this instance that I'm hearing.
I was going to say I am confused by the suggestion, but go ahead with the question.
I feel like one of the more intimate, serious moments in this campaign has been V and Sorsha talking about nobles, because V sort of accused Sorsha of being a princess, and Sorsha was like, "Fuck that, not a fan of that."
Yeah.
So I feel like with what Kina is suggesting, that would make Sorsha very uncomfy, but it would also make Sorsha feel like V was the best person to hold this thing, because as far as V knows, and as far as Sorsha knows, per her relationships with the people that she's, for lack of a better phrase, of in charge of thus far, V
Okay.
has been the most honest with her. V has not treated her like a crazy like nuance. V has sort of questioned her beliefs. But I feel like in this instance, I mean, I don't know if there's a role to make for this, like, but internally, I feel like V is the best person to hold said box, because
So, what I would say with you saying potential DM question is this is not a DM question. This is the perfect time for the Selkie to interject
God,
into her role. And if that is where your gut is going for your character, trust it. Go with it.
it is. And that's very much where my gut is going. I feel like out of everybody in this party, which kind of feels
So,
bad,
my
because I
question to you
potentially
then,
trust. Oh, okay.
okay, to turn this into a moment,
Okay.
that potentially good one, okay,
Okay. I trust.
is what would Sorsha say to V out here in front of everybody in this moment with that thought? Trust that and go with that and tell that story. Because if you would look at V and tell her that, there's story there. So I would say trust your gut and go with it.
Okay. But to clarify, who currently is holding said box?
You, I think.
I don't think so. I feel
Xavier,
like
did you
my
give the
husband's
box to your wife?
No, I haven't given the
I
box
don't
to
think
anybody
he did.
yet.
That's the whole
So
problem.
there we go. Thank you. That's the solution. So Xavier is just currently standing there with the box. So go for it.
Are you talking to me or my husband? In
I'm
real life.
talking to you. Selkie, Sorsha, take your moment and run with it.
Sorsha is going to look at V, and she is going to sort of change her body language a little bit. So where Sorsha is normally very high strung, very like proper posture, she's going to sort of like lean over a little bit, and she's going to look at V and say, "How exactly am I supposed to feel like I'm a good leader when I can't trust the people that are supposed to be beneath me, or the people I'm supposed to be controlling when I don't want to control anybody? I feel like we had a very good conversation. I don't know your story, you don't know mine, not fully, but I think you are the person for the job. Do you think you are? Are you proud of yourself and your actions thus far?
Definitely V is gonna like to hear that. She's gonna like to hear that that you want to give her the box. I guess the only thing is like V doesn't have like a box, like a bag of holding. Like she's literally gonna throw it in a bag, and it's just gonna be knocking
So what?
around.
So what? Who cares?
This is gonna be interesting. All right.
I mean, Chief, maybe like as part of their gear for the Rondosa Navy, they had she and Jazz both have a bag of holding.
Little metagaming
You
at
guys
the
all
meta
got.
store.
You guys all got the basically the shared bag of holding, the collective.
No,
chest.
it's not
So, yeah.
going in there because
No,
we are
okay.
not putting it in there because Silver's dragon ate Cow, so now he has Cow's bag of holding.
Okay. I'm just saying that includes a regular bag of holding and the party bag of holding.
Yeah, and it's not going in the party bag of holding.
Anyways, where were we?
V, well, she's gonna turn to you and she's gonna try to hide like a smile because she's just kind of like her thoughts of potentially taking it from you guys at some point. Like she's just like, well, that just skipped a bunch of steps straight into my hands now. Like she just felt uncomfy because it was all you nobles fighting about it. And she's just like, so who's into it? Who really wants it? Who's the loudest? So she's gonna look at you and she's gonna be like, I will gladly take it. And she'll put her hand out.
I'm sorry, is the face in character or out of character? Because that was a whole face.
The face was out of character because I was like, I think I screwed up. That was just me being Hannah.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Can I do an insight check to see if V is like wanting the box to keep
is
it
Hannah around?
Hold up.
Yeah, we're all standing together.
I mean, you guys are in a relatively small room. Here's where I'm going to leave it because we're getting pretty close to drop dead time. And where I want to leave it before there's any kind of a handoff. In this moment, after hearing the words of this deceiver god and how tempting they were to you, how glorious it all sounded, the feeling of isolation that you've had, how he seemed so in tune with that, and how you sat there saying, fuck these motherfuckers, they ain't never gonna trust me anyway. Like, just being very much so in that moment to hear Sorsha say, like, no, I do trust you. You're the most honest one there, blah, blah. What does that do to V?
She feels slightly guilty because she is tempted by it, but she's not going to admit it. But now she kind of has to prove to herself that she's not going to be tempted.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting.
Okay. So that is where I'm going to say we are going to end it this week in this moment with, this kind of conversation. The second half of the conversation left to be had between V and Sorsha. Because I believe that that's a really good cliffhanger to end on, and kind of what are they going to do? Where are they going to go? So that is where we are going to close for the evening. So typically what we do at this part of the night is we talk about what's going on around the Nexus. This week, obviously, we're here on a Tuesday. So now I get to say tomorrow we'll be right back here again. I will be down there. Danielle will be up here. Because on Wednesday nights, that's when we do Threads of War. We do got a couple new peeps coming in. We got Alden and Keith coming in, which I'm very excited about. Keith is a good friend of mine. Just got back on first shift after being on third shift forever. So he's stoked to play. And what better group to bring him in on than our lovely little Chaos Gremlins. So that'll be fun. Not to mention, we just had a little bit of fun with an interrogation where Helgar totally did not break anybody's kneecaps.
No war crimes were committed.
No war crimes were committed. Yeah. Maybe some more suggestions were violated. But anyway. So yeah, you can tune in for that. Thursday, you will be able to catch Bill for the Talkwork Nexus. I got to be honest, I do not know what the subject of the week is. Tune in tomorrow to find out. And then we got Friday. Be right back here again, where you will see this time Talon up here. You will see me down there because this is a week in which we will be playing Univrass's Worm. So, literally for the next 3 days running, 4 days in a row if you include tonight, there will be D&D here on the Nexus. So, tune into it. Come back and check us out. Hope everybody enjoyed the session tonight. Thank you guys for playing. Thank anybody for watching live or on one of the recordings. We appreciate all of you guys. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight unless anybody has anything else. Is everybody else good? Going once, twice, going thrice. Oh. Good night, everybody. We will see you guys next time here on the Nexus.